Attention UK pensioners, a crucial new update has just been issued from the Department for Work and Pensions that could impact your future income. Are you expecting to retire soon? Already drawing your pension? Then this could affect you directly. A little-known pension arrangement known as integration is causing confusion, controversy, and for many shock reductions in their monthly pension income just as they begin claiming their state pension. In a recent exchange in Parliament, Liberal Democrat MP Victoria Collins raised an urgent question to the government. Her concerns echoed what thousands of women, lower earners, and newly retired workers are starting to realize, that their occupational pension income, the money they worked for and saved over decades, is being reduced the moment they hit state pension age. But why? How does this happen? And is there anything you can do to protect your retirement income before it's too late? For millions of UK workers, especially those in employer-sponsored pension schemes, there's a hidden mechanism built right into the system and most never realize it until the cut arrives. It's called an integrated pension plan. These are arrangements where your workplace or occupational pension scheme is designed to take the state pension into account as part of your overall income. In other words, your employer tops up your retirement income before your state pension begins, but once you hit that qualifying age, they reduce your occupational payments accordingly. It sounds technical. But here's how it works in real life. Let's say you retire at age 62. Your occupational pension begins paying out. You might receive a fairly generous sum, enough to cover your rent, bills, and a bit of breathing space. But once you turn 66, the current state pension age, the monthly income from your employer pension suddenly drops. Why? Because they assume that your state pension will now take over part of the responsibility. It's all by design. Employers create these systems so that workers receive roughly the same amount of retirement income over time. But there's a catch: the employer gets to reduce how much they are paying you, relying instead on the state to pick up the slack. In Parliament, Pensions Minister Torsten Bell laid it out clearly. He told MPs that this system is intended to create a more predictable and stable pension income over time. But he also confirmed something much more worrying. He admitted that lower-paid pensioners and women are more likely to see a larger cut to their private pensions when they start receiving the state pension. Why? Because throughout their working lives, these groups tend to have lower earnings on average due to societal and labor market inequalities, which means they build up smaller occupational pensions. So when the employer reduces that smaller pension, the loss represents a bigger percentage of their income. And for those already struggling to make ends meet in retirement, the impact can be devastating. Imagine this. You've spent your whole life working hard in education, in care, in manual work. Maybe you were a cleaner, a nurse, a school administrator. You've paid into your pension scheme. You've done everything right. You finally retire early and begin collecting your occupational pension at 62. For a few years, things are okay, not luxurious, but manageable. Then you turn 66. Suddenly, your monthly income drops. And no one warned you it would happen. You check with your pension provider and they say, "Oh yes, your plan is integrated. Now that you're getting the state pension, we pay you less." For many, it feels like a punishment for reaching retirement age. One of the most important messages from the DWP is this: you have a right to know what's coming. Pension schemes are legally required to provide information on how they calculate your benefits. If your pension is integrated, meaning it's designed to reduce payouts when your state pension kicks in, they should be explaining this clearly, early, and in writing. But many pensioners say they never saw the small print. They were never warned. They feel blindsided. Pensions Minister Torsten Bell admitted that while these schemes are legal, the rules are many and varied and ultimately determined by employers and pension trustees, not the government. That means every scheme can be different. And unless you ask the right questions, you may never know what you're truly entitled to until it's too late. If you believe your pension was reduced unfairly or that you weren't properly informed, the minister offered some advice. First, contact your pension provider's internal dispute resolution service. Every occupational scheme in the UK must have one. If you're unhappy with their response, escalate the issue to the Pensions Ombudsman, a free, independent service that reviews complaints. But even more importantly, act before retirement if you can. If you're still working or approaching retirement age, request a full written statement from your pension scheme explaining exactly what will happen when your state pension begins. Don't accept vague answers. Ask clearly. Will my payments drop? By how much? And why? Get that in writing. Because when it comes to retirement, knowledge is not just power, it's protection. Currently, the state pension age is 66 for both men and women. But from April 2026 to April 2028, that's set to rise gradually to 67. For anyone born after April 1960, your retirement plans could be affected not just by when you can claim state pension, but by when your occupational pension payments might be reduced due to integration. And as the cost of living crisis continues, and more pensioners rely on every last pound to cover energy, food, and rent, a sudden cut in monthly income can push some into financial crisis. The parliamentary debate raised a vital issue that affects generations of women. Many women in the UK spent years doing unpaid care work, raising families, or working part-time due to childcare responsibilities. They earned less, saved less, and contributed less to workplace pensions, not because they didn't work, but because of how society valued that work. Now, they're being hit again, this time in retirement, as their modest occupational pensions are slashed once their state pension begins. It's a double injustice. And for many, it comes as a shock after a lifetime of service. This is why campaigners are calling for fairer systems, more transparent rules, gender-aware pensions policy, and reforms to ensure that no one is blindsided by cuts they didn't expect. If you're currently working, ask your employer or pension provider today whether your pension scheme is integrated with the state pension. Request written documentation. If you're already retired but haven't yet reached state pension age, plan now for the potential drop. Don't be caught off guard. And if you're already experiencing reduced payments you didn't expect, challenge it. Use the dispute resolution process. Seek advice from Citizens Advice or a pension specialist. Your retirement income isn't just a number, it's your right, your reward, and your security. Integrated pensions may be legal, but they shouldn't be invisible. Pensioners, especially women and low earners, deserve clear answers and fair treatment. The DWP may not control how schemes are set up, but they can help shine a light on practices that harm those with the least. So if you found this video helpful, do one thing right now. Like this video so more people see it. Subscribe for urgent updates on pensions, benefits, and DWP changes. And share this with your parents, grandparents, or anyone nearing retirement age. Because in the world of pensions, silence costs money and knowledge protects it. This has been your latest retirement briefing. We'll see you in the next one.